Kathy here from the UK, designer for Bello's Designs, and today I wanted to share with you a card I created called Secret Garden using Lavinia stamps and the element inks for background. So to create this card I used some Multifarious card that I cut to 6 inches by 4 inches, and then I chose a lilac background which I cut 6.25 inches by 4.25 inches, and I have a piece of card once folded measures 5 inches by 7 inches. For the backgrounds I used the element inks, Blue Lagoon, Violet Chalk and some graphite. For the stamping I used Versafine Clair Nocturne, Medieval Blue and Monarch. I also used a stencil for a very subtle design in the background. If I show you again, you can barely notice it, but it's a very subtle feather leaf stencil. And the stamps I used were the Lavinia Secret Garden LAV 161. I used the foliage set LAV 683, and I used the little floral sprig. The Lavinia Bluebells LAV 002, the Wildberry LAV 670, and the Flower Pods LAV 730. And I used some stencil brushes for my backgrounds in the blue and the purple and the graphite. I have 3 Posca pens in lilac, sort of vivid blue and a yellow. I also used a watercolour brush for around the door and inside the door of the fairy gate. I also have a black pen, a white gel pen and a black pencil for details, and I use a glue runner for attaching my card. You can use any glue of your choice. I also have a water spray and a bit of kitchen paper to blend in some of the background. So let's get started. Right, I'm going to be starting with the blue. And I want to leave a sort of circle in the middle of light so I don't get it too dark in the centre for where my fairy gate's going to go, because I want to see behind the gate. My purple is quite well used, so I don't need to dab any off this because it's quite a used one. Enough for now, and I'm going to spritz it with some water to get a nice effect. I'm just going to let that sit for a moment, and I'm going to wipe it off with some kitchen paper and dry it with a heat gun. And I'm going to add a bit more purple. There we go. And I'm just going to use what's on my blue brush. I'm not adding any more. To just put a little bit there. And then I'm going to dab. Can't see if I took that to the side. I have a little media mat thing here, and I'm just putting a little bit of blue and purple element inks so that I can colour the fairy gate. Let's move you back. So I'm going to stamp this up in Nocturne. hold it down for a moment and let it sit in. There we go. I haven't used this stamp in quite a long time actually. Then using the small sprig of flowers, I'm going to use the Monarch. But I need to tear off a little corner of my paper here just to stop that line of the sprig getting on too much on the gate. I want it like they're growing up around the outside of the gate. There we go. And then I'm going to use my watercolour brush. Next I'm going to be using the fairy lantern. I'm going to be using Nocturne for this. And we're going to use a bit of the grass that comes with the set. I'm going to put that in the middle. Like so. And next I'm going to do some bluebells. And I'm going to use the Medieval Blue for the bluebells. So I did some second and third generation there to look like that they're in the back. And then I'm going to use the wild berry, I think it's called. Actually, I need a bigger. I'm going to do the wild berry in purple. Now for a bit of colouring. I'm going to be using the Posca pen for the lilac pen for the berries. I'm going to use the blue pen for the flowers around the door. And then I'm going to use some white, and the white I'm going to use to highlight the berries, highlight under the lanterns, and I'm going to add a little bit of white on the bluebells. And then with the black pen, I'm just going to very lightly go around some of the berries, just to give them a bit more definition. All done. Right, so now I'm just going to move my inks. I'm going to glue down my card. I'm going to dry it first, just to make sure. you go, the secret garden. Here's the card I showed you at the beginning, and here's the card that I did second, so it's slightly darker. I hope you enjoyed that and found that useful. Before you go, if you haven't already joined us, please consider joining our Facebook groups. We have 2 Facebook groups for Del Bello's Designs. We have the Del Bello's Designs Lounge, which is all things Lavinia, and we also have the Del Bello's a la carte for all the other products that Patty stocks that isn't Lavinia, so pink ink, sweet poppy stencils, cardio, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.